The Waters of Mnemosyne, Ancient Greek Religion for Modern Pagans by Gwendolyn Reece. I was very, very curious when Llewellyn announced this particular book. I thought to myself, this could go one of two ways. Either the author has just recently discovered Greek gods and has put together just a mishmash of whatever her feelings are, or she's done some research. She's actually lived this. This is her core practice, and this could in fact be of great benefit to the occult community. And I'm delighted to tell you it's the latter, folks. Gwendolyn really knows her stuff, and she makes it available to a modern practitioner. Now, I know it says over here for modern pagans. That is, I'm going to say that's the audience that this is made for, but she takes great care in the book for everything that she suggests, everything that she teaches to be palatable to anyone, absolutely anyone. It's a real pleasure, to find something that could have been abused so badly, treated so well, really, really so well. You can see how many people have been impressed with Gwendolyn's work over here at the front. Some names you'll definitely recognize. I want to go through the table of contents with you, folks, before I go any further, because there's so much going on here. I'm just going to read them all out. Fundamentals, who are the theoi, meet the theoi, sacred space, shrines, sanctuaries, and other public sacred spaces, speaking to the gods, listening to the gods' omens, oracles, and visions, household practice, rites of practice, the polis and civic duty, healing, the mysteries, heroes, the heroic path, and apotheos, philosophy as a sacred practice and path, and ancient Greek magic. Yes, it's all here, folks. If you are a Greco-Egyptian magical papyri aficionado, then there are a good few spells at the back of the book over here. What I really appreciated here is how workable she's made everything. So there are about 70 different practices, right, that you can do throughout the book. And I actually recommend reading the book from beginning to end and just taking it one chapter at a time, not flitting about, but actually taking it the way she's laid it out. She's clearly a talented teacher. She knows what needs to come early in your learning and what needs to come later in your learning. Of course, if the Greek pantheon are already a heavy part of your praxis, and you already have an established praxis, and you're just looking at this book to fill a few gaps, then you can definitely do that. But the book is really designed to be practiced from beginning to end, and yeah, as I say, she's made it all really workable. So she gives you details on how you can, for example, set up ritual space within your home, how it was traditionally done, how you can do it today, and so on and so forth. And she also ensures that you can set up a ritual space in the inner planes, right? And that's definitely where I spend most of my ritual time with the theoi, is on inner planes, so to speak. And she gives you wonderful, she calls them path working. I guess it's the the term that is commonly used now. It's been kind of taken away from the Tree of Life path workings and used simply as visualized guided visualizations, right, in general. And so so she gives you these various path workings to meet the various gods and to establish a ritual area in the inner planes, which is very, very functional, of course, right? Very, very practical in this day and age when it's so difficult to find lodging that is private or that is just personal, right? Many people just live in a single room, and so it's very difficult to set up a space that is going to be dedicated to the gods. Nevertheless, if you do have that kind of privilege, then everything that you need to set up that that space is detailed in here. I'm just flabbergasted astounded at the extent, the breadth of what is shared here. You're seeing some of the headers here, right? Details on the different rites of passage. There is literally everything here you could possibly want for an entire praxis based around the Greek theoi. And there's a massive chapter, very well-informed chapter on the mysteries, talking about the different types of mysteries, and then Gwendolyn's actual own how to say, I don't want to say guesses, but maybe guesses about what they were in fact doing. That's not the word I was looking for. It doesn't matter. And how you can do it yourself, right? Today, in a way that makes sense in the context of what they were doing historically. Right, so she does give you the differences between the initiatory mysteries that were tied to a geographic location, to a sacred space, versus the initiatory processes that were not tied to a sacred space. And she makes a very reasonable link, I think, to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and suggests that the purpose of the initiatory processes were probably in line with what the purpose of the Tibetan Book of the Dead is. And I completely agree with her. I think that's exactly what they were doing in light of the book by Josephine McCarthy, the Book of Gates that I reviewed a couple of weeks ago. I think you can probably agree as well. Okay, just as I say, she goes quite wide and quite deep, and I think I can safely say that this is from now on going to be the main book on esoteric Greek practice, right? Praxis. I don't want to say Greek religion, because that really is another thing. This of course draws from ancient Greek religion, but it's from an esoteric perspective. I mean, ultimately, Gwendolyn Reece is an initiate of Wicca, right? That's her way in to magic. But this is the manifestation of where that has led her. And you can tell that it is lived. You can tell that she is talking about something that she knows intimately and that she has researched extensively. And I'm incredibly grateful to her for it. I think many people who picked this one up will be equally grateful. Let me show you maybe a couple of the spells in the very final chapter here about the ancient Greek magic. It's a short chapter, but because ultimately the majority of the book is about establishing a relationship with these gods, and the majority of the magic is really coming through that relationship with the gods, right? But of course, we can't ignore the fact that there were Greek sorcerers, right? I mean, the PGM is clearly a testament to that, and so she shares a few rites, a few rituals, and so that's a very, very useful one over here. Justice spell for an unknown perpetrator. Spell for increase using an NX, and I won't spoil the rest, but you get the general idea. There's some really good stuff. There's a very useful index at the very back as well, You know I like me a good index. I really appreciate that. And this particular index just happens to be particularly copious and useful. Right, several pages, as you can see. Right. Okay, there's a useful bibliography, a very cool bibliography, and some recommended reading, which I think I agree with a lot of her choices. Right, I'll go with that. There we go. So there we are. That is The Waters of Mnemosyne by Gwendolyn Reece. As I say, I'll leave links to all of that in the description. They will be Amazon associate links. So if you use those links, I'll get a little tip. Right, it won't change the price for you, but I'll get a little commission, which I'd appreciate it, and I always do appreciate it whenever people do use those associate links. Thank you so much for those of you who think of doing that. This is a strong recommendation, folks. I think this is one of the books. There've been a few books this year that are definitely going to stay on my shelves, and this is going to be one of them. That's a full guarantee. There we are. Thanks ever so much for watching the review. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. And what are your thoughts on the Greek gods? Leave your comments down below, and I'll see you down there and see you very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves. See you. Bye-bye.